This is amazing. The amount of rage coming out of this amplifier right now is immeasurable. I'm a little scared. I can't wait to share this with my friends later over a nice soy latte. I know I'm wearing my hat forward right now, but when I flip it around backwards, that's when I mean business. Oh, you want a free sample? Okay, I'll do that for you. Get ready, because I'm about to bring the thunder. Enough of that. Oh, you scared? Well, hey, don't blame me. I warned you. You're lucky I just brought the thunder, and not the lightning. I'm feeling pretty dangerous right now. Tonight, I just might have dessert before dinner. And I might even have seconds. And after that, I'm going to stay up past midnight and watch reruns of the Golden Girls. That's right, the Golden Girls. Hey, you. Not you. You. I saw you laughing at me. You just shut your dirty pirate crab boat mouth. B. Arthur was a saint. That's cute. Hey guys, welcome to my weekly 10-minute tones video, and today we're going to talk about overdrive pedals, why they're important, how to dial them in, and a very common mistake that a lot of people make when they're pairing an overdrive pedal with their amp. Let's get started. Okay, so the amp that I'm using today is the EVH Stealth. It's an amplifier that I've heard many people say it doesn't need an overdrive pedal. That could be right or wrong, but for the kind of music that I play and for my personal playing style and taste, I need an overdrive pedal to accomplish what I do. So let's go ahead and play the blue channel of the amplifier right now without the overdrive pedal and see what it sounds like. I have the gain and bass set at noon. Okay, it's a good tone. It sounds good, but it's not as responsive as I want it to be. So let's test the theory that a lot of people have where it's like, well, just crank the gain and you won't need an overdrive pedal. All right, so let's go ahead and crank the gain all the way up and see what results we get there. So what I'm experiencing here is it sounds a little more saturated, still has great tone, but it doesn't feel and respond to my playing the way I want it to. So let's go ahead and kick in the overdrive now and see where we're at. And before we do that, I'll put the gain back down to noon. And remember, we're still at noon on the bass. That felt way better to play, and it was much more responsive to what I was playing, and I thought the sound was a little angrier, and that's the way I like it, especially for my type of music. So now let's go ahead and crank the gain all the way up and see what we get there, because I'm looking for a little more fullness and saturation. And remember, with this channel on this amplifier, when you crank the gain all the way up, you're only adding maybe 10% more. So let's go ahead and give that a try now. Now that sounded a lot better. It had that saturation that I was looking for, but it doesn't sound messy. There's still really good pick attack and note separation, and it doesn't have this cluttered mess going on. Still very clean, but I love the attack and the anger and the rage the amp has. The tone is awesome, and it has that really nice angry bite on the top end. Okay, so here's the part where a lot of people make a very common mistake when they're using an overdrive pedal with an amplifier. Once they get the saturation, aggression, and response taken care of, they pretty much just call it a day. It's like, I'm done. I don't need to dial anything else in. But they're missing a very important element, and that is the low end. Okay? Remember, the bass knob is at noon. I cut out even more bass with the overdrive pedal because that's what it does. It tames the low end and tightens up the amp. But now I have to remember to further dial in the bass on the amplifier. Remember, it's at noon. It needs to be higher because the amp sounds good, but it's a bit thin, you know? So now what I want to do is fine-tune everything by bringing some bass back into the amplifier so that it gets that fullness, that punch, and that really nice big sound that I'm looking for. And if your amplifier also has a resonance knob, which most do these days, don't forget to pay some attention to that as well and dial some of that back in. So I'm going to play the amplifier as is right now with the bass at noon, and I'm going to go ahead and dial in the bass to what I think it should be, and then I'm going to play it again, and you're going to hear a big difference in how full the amp sounds. Alright, again, that sounds really good, but I want more fullness, so I'm going to go ahead and dial the bass in, and I'm just going to turn it all the way up. The blue channel is a bit thinner, so you can actually get away with using all the bass in it, especially when you're using an overdrive pedal. It has a very usable amount of bass in it, so crank it all the way up and see what you get with your overdrive pedal. So let's see what we have now. Honestly, that sounds perfect. It's not flubby, it still has a very tame low end, but I brought some of that fullness back in. So now it sounds like a really big, fat, aggressive tone, and it still has great response and note separation. Here's a really good way to find out how your overdrive pedal is interacting with your amplifier. Switch your amp to the clean channel, as I did here, and then turn the pedal off, and then just play your clean channel, and then turn the pedal on and hear what it does to the amplifier. I'll demonstrate that for you now. I'll start with the pedal off, and then I'll go ahead and click it on so you can hear the difference. Okay, so as you heard, it doesn't really add a ton of dirt or gain to your amplifier. What it's doing is it's pushing the front end of the amplifier and just giving it that little extra breakup to make it more responsive. It also is tightening up the low end, so it's a twofold job. It's not just tightening the low end of the amp, it's actually slamming the front end of it as well, creating a little bit more breakup to give you that rage and response that you're looking for. Now, depending on how much gain your amp actually has, you'll adjust the gain on the pedal accordingly. If you want more because your amp's lacking in that department, just put more in the pedal on the front end, and the two combined gives you that gain and saturation that you're looking for. That's why they put that little gain knob on that pedal. It really does come in handy. Okay, so let's just do a quick portion of a mix here. I'm going to do the first one without the overdrive pedal, and I'll do the second one with it. And you're going to hear several things. Number one, you're going to hear how much better the guitar stands out in the mix. Number two, you're going to hear way more note definition, and my riffs are going to have a lot more clarity with the overdrive pedal on as opposed to off. And you're just going to hear a much better overall sound out of the amplifier. And as a player, I'm just going to have a better time and an easier time playing those riffs because I don't have to beat the hell out of my strings to get a response. I can just play like I normally do and save myself from hand fatigue and let the pedal and the amp interact together and push whatever it is that I'm playing on the guitar. So let's go ahead and play the first mix without the pedal, and then we'll do the second with. thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you got something out of this. And to all my subscribers, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, because we go live every Sunday night at 7 and every Wednesday night at 8, and we do a lot of gear demos, really fun hangs with you guys, and then we have a great time interacting with you. And don't forget to click that bell so that you can get notified every time we come out with new episodes or do a live stream. Well, I got a lot of great stuff coming up, and I'll see you on the next one.